What's going on, everybody? David here. So more good news. So we have more good news about the next stimulus package. We're going to talk about that in this video. But first off, on this channel, we talk about personal finance for travelers. If that sounds like something interesting to you, please hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the little bell notification so you get future updates on my videos. So this is more good news coming out of the White House. They're now talking about how much they want to spend on the next stimulus package. And so let me start from the beginning so you guys understand exactly where we are. So on May 15th, the House of Representatives approved a bill and they sent it over to the Senate. That was a $3 trillion bill. So the Senate gets it. They say it's dead on arrival. They're not going to do anything with it, and they haven't done anything. So it's been 30 days. There's been no movement on this bill. So the Mitch McConnell, the majority leader, at that time, he said that it's not going over $1 trillion as far as the next bill. So they're going to either have to take a lot out of the HEROES Act or they're going to have to create their own new bill, but they're not going over $1 trillion. So it was interesting yesterday to hear that the White House is saying, you know what? We're looking at more about $2 trillion. So it's not going to be $1 trillion, it'll probably be closer to $2 trillion. And so I thought that was really interesting because now that's good news for the HEROES Act. And we don't know if they're going to take on the HEROES Act and take out what they don't want and put in the things that they do want. But we do know that they haven't said anything about the HEROES Act for a long time. And if you're looking at $3 trillion or what Mitch McConnell wants, $1 trillion, there'd be a lot taken out if that were the case. But now that the White House is saying, no, we want it more, we want it closer to $2 trillion. Well, now that brings the HEROES Act back into play. And there are a lot of things that they can still pull from that HEROES Act and just keep it the way it is, take out the things they don't want, and still be around that $2 trillion mark. So this is really, really good news. And they're saying they're still considering the stimulus checks, which is great. They're talking about some different programs, payroll tax cut, liability protections, talking about some stuff like that. So they might put these things in place of some of the other things in the HEROES Act that wasn't there. But I think it's easier for them to go with the HEROES Act and just take parts of it out than to create a whole new bill. But they do have time to create a whole new bill because they're giving themselves all this time because they don't want to do anything. So they have the time, but it would take, I think it would, if you have something that has part of what you want in it, take out the things that you don't want. Because you have to understand, the timeline now is they're going to return on July 21st. So they'll go out on July 3rd. They'll return on July 21st. They'll have 10 days in order to make something happen. So if you have 10 days to make something happen, it's better to go with the HEROES Act than to try to create a whole new bill, because now you have to send that bill back over, which you're going to still have to send the bill back over to the House if they make adjustments to the HEROES Act. But at least you know that some of the stuff has already been voted on, so you don't have to make changes to those things. So if they keep the HEROES Act the way it is, take out the things that they don't want, send it back over to the House, it'll be a much quicker process than if they create a whole new bill and they have to get that done within that 10-day period, because that's when the expiration for unemployment, the enhanced unemployment, it will happen on July 31st. So if they don't have things in place by then, and if they don't have this approved both in the Senate and the House and sent over to the president, well, now we're looking at people not being able to receive that extra $600. We know that the White House and Mitch McConnell do not want to continue with the $600 enhanced unemployment, but they have been open to lowering it down to $250 or $300. So we know that's out there as well. So this looks really good when you're looking at $2 trillion now. So this would be something like the CARES Act, so something like the last stimulus package that we had. So that's a really good thing. And we know that the last stimulus package, it had other things in there that won't be in this current package. So we're talking like the PPP loans and the EIDL loans. So there are going to be some things that they're not going to have in there. So maybe we can put that money towards other things like maybe state and local government funding and things like that. But this is really interesting to hear that the White House is kind of coming back and saying, yeah, you know what, $2 trillion looks about right. And so we'll have to see what Mitch McConnell thinks about this. And realistically, Mitch McConnell wants to please the president. So I don't see him saying, no, we're only going to go with $1 trillion. I'm pretty confident that the White House putting this out here means that they've already negotiated this with Mitch McConnell and they're kind of on board with it. But Mitch McConnell is just not going to come out and say that right now. Plus, Mitch McConnell is probably still going to keep quiet about it because he wants to be able to negotiate with the House of Representatives. So whenever he sends something to them, so when they make the adjustments and send it back to the House of Representatives, He wants people to think in the House to think that, hey, this is it. We can't go any higher than $2 trillion, and then send it over to the House of Representatives. That way they won't try to make it even more, like throw some other things in there and bring up the price even higher. So it's all a part of negotiating. The White House is not doing the negotiating. All the White House is doing right now, I mean, they say they're negotiating, but basically they're not a part of the legislation. So all they're doing is saying what they want, and Mitch McConnell's trying to make that happen. So that's basically where we are right now when it comes down to it. By the way, I didn't mention that Peter Navarro is the one that said this. He is the White House trade advisor, and he's the one that said, yeah, we're looking more like $2 trillion. Now, when these guys come out, when these advisors come out and say this stuff has been negotiated probably weeks ago. And they figured, okay, weeks ago, yeah, it'll be about $2 trillion. That's how much it's going to cost. But they just don't say anything. And then when they start bringing this stuff out, that means that they've already really talked with some of the other parties, and they're kind of on board with it. So don't just think that they're coming out of the blue and saying this, and the Senate has no idea, or Mitch McConnell has no idea that this is what they're pushing for. This is stuff that's been negotiated, and they already know. So no one's surprised when it comes down to it. Now it's just a matter of what is going to be in this next stimulus package. That's what we need to focus on at this point. We still know that there's going to be some time, so we still have to wait. So we're going to be waiting until probably July 21st, and then hopefully that 10 days, it can get something done in that 10 days, and then we can move forward with hopefully more stimulus checks and another stimulus package. So you guys want to stay tuned, because I will be giving you all the up-to-date information. It looks like the White House is putting out all this stuff right now, so that's good. Maybe we'll hear some more proposals come out, and we can talk about those. But make sure you subscribe to the channel. That way you'll get all that information. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please comment down below too. What do you guys think about $2 trillion? Do you think that's good? Do you think it should be more? Should be less? Let me know down below. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.